In its quest to provide an open forum for discussion of controversial issues, this station allows hosts and their guests to express themselves without any significant censorship. You are advised that any view expressed by the host or their guest are not necessarily the views of the owners or management of TogiNet Radio, Togi Entertainment, or the Owners Group, Inc.
It's time for Motherhood Talk Radio, the most powerful voice in women's issues today, with Sandra Beck and Christy Holly. Ladies, Motherhood Talk Radio is here to give you a powerful platform by giving you interesting, inspiring, and influential information as you navigate everything from childcare to corporate formation. Motherhood Talk Radio has interviews with best-selling authors, gurus of happiness, and women of interest who every single day make our world a better place for our families. Motherhood Talk Radio, powered by Motherhood Incorporated, is on the air now. Moms, this really is your show. Motherhood Talk Radio. And now, here are your hosts, Sandra Beck and Christy Holly.
Hi, Moms. Welcome to Motherhood Talk Radio. My name is Suzanne Sladek-Wilson, your guest host for today, while Sandra Beck is taking a much-needed and well-deserved vacation. Your lovely co-host, Christy Holly, is still with us today. Say hi, Christy.
Hey, everyone.
How's your week been going, Christy?
My week has been going pretty good. We are have been getting ready for a huge garage sale this week, so I've been going through all our baby clothes. It's so hard to get rid of stuff for me.
Well, but that makes more room for the new stuff.
I know, but like all the baby clothes, I look at them and I'm like, oh, I don't want to sell them. I want to keep them. For what? I don't know. But it's just so hard to get rid of stuff.
Well, and do they still have that baby smell to them?
Some do.
Yeah, that can be hard.
It is. It is. And it's like I had such cute clothes for my little girl, and both my boys have like really cute stuff too, and it's rough.
Oh, it can be. I know a friend of mine who took the baby clothes and turned them into a quilt.
Well, that's a good idea.
So that way she still had the clothes, but kept them in a way and repurposed them in a way that was more subtle.
That's what Sandra did with her boys' T-shirts. So when she made a big, huge quilt of all their T-shirts, and when they went away to their dads, she had that little quilt to, put on her and remind her of them, and just for a little comfort. So I think that's a great idea.
Oh, definitely. And that leads into what we're talking about today. Go ahead.
I say, what are we talking about today?
I am so excited about our guest today. Can I tell you, this is somebody who I have admired for such a long time. Our guest today is Margot Potter, a.k.a. the Impatient Crafter, which we all know. How many times have we tried to start a craft and let's see, about halfway through the project either stays in the box and never gets finished, and is a reminder of, oh, gee, we just don't have the time or the patience to finish that. And that's what I like about Margot, is that she comes at it where we are.
That's true, because I'm like, I stop. If it gets too crazy, I just like, I'm going to put it away, and then it like gets lost in all the craziness, and then it doesn't get picked up.
Right.
For a while.
Well, that's why her books are so fantastic. She's a designer, an author, a mixed media artist, trash to treasure trover, freelance writer, consultant, public speaker, actor, and vocalist, and TV personality. She's got so many hats.
Yeah, and she's a mom, right?
And she's a mom. A wife and a mom.
A wife and a mom, geez.
Yes, she designs things for manufacturers. She does books for magazines. She teaches seminars and classes at major craft and jewelry events. The thing that I like about her is she has so much humor in all of her books and all of everything that she does, whether it's her YouTube videos. Did you get a chance to look at some of those last night?
I watched her YouTube video about the T-shirts, and I was totally cracking up because, like, some of those things I would have totally done that she did when she said that when she inked the thing, she like got it too wet, just all those little things. I thought, like, oh my God, That would be me.
Well, and that's what's great about her. She's not afraid to put forth also her craft catastrophes, I think she calls them. But we'll ask her more about that later. She's actually written 6 books, and I'm proud to say I own all 6 of them.
Oh, good girl.
And she's designed all sorts of things for the craft industry. She does a fantastic blog. She's a freelance writer, and she's also won awards for some of those YouTube videos.
Really?
Yeah. So
awesome.
What I like about her is she's got a no-nonsense approach to creative expression, and she makes it easy for the average Joe or Jane to be able to be creative, and as she puts it, to create without filters.
That's good. I like that. I like that a lot.
So, Margot, are you here with us?
And my young daughter is sitting right next to me on her iPod. Her iPod. We were at a photo shoot all day today, so we're kind of decompressing from that.
Well, and I was going to say, I'm so happy that you can join us. I know you're not even home.
No, we're in a hotel room in Cincinnati.
And how did this is for your 7th book, is that?
My 7th book.
Wow.
I know, it's like, what? How did I get here from there?
That's fabulous. Now,
it's been a journey. It's been fun.
Oh, yeah. Oh, definitely. And so is this book going to be more about beading, or is it more craft-based?
This is still a jewelry-making title, even though I keep trying to break out of that. My publisher really likes my jewelry-making titles, and they've sold well, so we're kind of still there in terms of my book. This one, I can't really reveal too much.
Of course.
But it's a little more complex than some of the books I've done before. Okay. Still, everything is geared towards the impatient personality. So, there's nothing that will take you a month to do. And you guys are making me laugh because I always say every scarf I ever tried to knit became a pot holder.
Yeah.
So, yeah, that looks good. We'll stop there. So that's kind of how I approach all of it. Though this book definitely is going to take a little more patience and a little more effort, but I think it will be worthwhile. And really, the beginner could pick this up and by the end have a pretty good arsenal of new skills. So,
oh, that's fantastic. And as you know, I mean, those of us who have grown with your books, it really does help to build on. Once you've learned some of the beginning tricks, you do want to learn more advanced things as you go along.
Yeah, I mean, creative people tend to be restless. So, I mean, for me, some people focus relentlessly on one specific thing, and then they become masters at that, and I have a deep respect for them. But I, on the other hand, am more of a Jill of all trades. So I'm easily bored, and I want to do something new. And so as I'm progressing, my books and my blog and all the things I do keep expanding outward.
Yeah. Could you tell our listeners the address for your blog?
It's www.MargotPotterTheImpatientCrafter at blogspot.com. But to make that easier, just go to www.MargotPotter, M-A-R-G-O-T, Potter like Harry.com, and go to my Do Not Read page, and it'll click you right through to my blog.
Perfect. Isn't it the section that says, don't click here? Isn't that where you're supposed to click?
Yes, do not read.
Okay. Do not read, that's it.
You must click on that page. That's the that's the joke.
Now, as many of our listeners may or may not know, that the journey to the impatient crafter. Could you give us a little bit of background on that?
In the Brazil nutshell?
Yes.
As opposed to a peanut shell? Well, I've had when you're reading through all the different things that I do, I don't necessarily do them all simultaneously, but I came into this career after getting a fine arts degree, or just an arts degree, Bachelor of Arts, in theater as an actor. But if you're in the theater, you have to learn how to do everything. I mean, you're building sets, you're sketching costumes. I would do dramaturgical research. You have to wear every hat. So I've always been creative. Ever since I came out of the womb, I was creative. But I never thought of myself as an artist because I come from a family of fine artists. And, I didn't think of what I did as really being art. And then as I moved into my 20s, I became punk rock, and I used to go to thrift stores and buy stuff and repurpose and, add the dazzle things here and there, or bleach or rip or tear. And I really didn't think of that as anything, except I like to shop at thrift stores. But as I went back to college and got my degree. And when I got out of that degree, I was going to get a Master's of Fine Arts at a school I will not name. But unfortunately, the program was, unbeknownst to me until I got there, completely disintegrating. So I did one semester, and then I met my husband because I went to buy beads at his bead store.
Oh, so that's how you met him.
Right. Well, actually, I went to buy crimp beads. And I said, I'll take one of you.
See the interesting way we meet the men in our lives?
Yes, and I really, in the time, was was not interested in any relationship whatsoever. But that's the perfect time to meet somebody because you're ready. And I really didn't imagine myself getting married or having kids or doing any of those things, especially as an actor because it's a kind of narcissistic profession. Not to insult actors, I am one, but it's hard to reach out from that and focus on other people. But I met my husband, and we got married and had our daughter, and we opened a retail bead and fair trade handicraft shop. And we did that for 5 years. And at the same time, I started appearing on a home shopping network in Pennsylvania as a representative for a product line.
Wow.
So I was doing all of that, and we closed the store. And the line I was doing, we ended up parting company. And I had this crazy, difficult, miserable year where my daughter was 5 years old, and I just couldn't figure out what I was going to be when I grew up. Yeah. The acting market in Philly was really tough. I kept thinking that I should be making jewelry, but I couldn't figure out how to do that at a retail level. There really wasn't an Etsy then, and I didn't have a lot of money to go have things manufactured overseas. And as we know, I'm impatient, so I don't really want to have to make things more than once or twice.
Right, and that totally makes sense. I mean,
yeah,
it's one of those things where you don't necessarily want to do that. Just so you know, we've got about 45 seconds for our first break, but we definitely want to hear the rest of the story.
I know, but wait, there's more.
We definitely want to find out. Everyone wants to hear the rest of the story, but I want to make sure that they all can hear it.
Okay.
So just so you know that we are on with the fabulous Margot Potter, the impatient crafter. Suzanne Sladek-Wilson is here substituting for Sandra Beck on Motherhood Talk Radio, and we're still here with the lovely Christy Holly.
I'm still here.
Yay!
Yay!
Thank you so much, and we'll be back with the rest of the story after our break.
Mom, here's your show, Motherhood Talk Radio, giving you interesting, inspiring, and influential information as you navigate everything from childcare to corporate formation. This is Motherhood Talk Radio, and we'll be right back after these. Girlfriended is on TogiNet. Thursdays at 10 a.m. Eastern, 11 a.m. Central, with your hosts Patty Wyatt and Lisa Jernigan. This show is your chance to share, learn, laugh, and connect with other women. The Girlfriended principle was born out of loss.
Lisa had recently had her mother pass away from cancer, and my mom was murdered. A man just walking into a room and started a 23-second shooting spree.
I think one of the things we both realized going through those tragedies that you can be extremely okay and be extremely sad.
Check out girlfriended.com. And then be a part of Girlfriended, the radio show. Thursdays at 10 a.m. Eastern, 11 a.m. Central.
You know, your boyfriend or your husband or whatever, they don't totally understand that emotional side to them like another woman does. And I think that's so important just to have somebody that you go, she gets me.
Check out the website, girlfriended.com. Don't miss Girlfriended with Patty Wyatt and Lisa Jernigan. Thursdays at 10 a.m. Eastern, 11 a.m. Central on TogiNet.com. What's your story? Are you living it? Well, you could be. It's What's Your Story with Hillary Bilbrey. Friday mornings at 10 Eastern, 9 a.m. Central on TogiNet.com. Her passion is helping others discover, create, and live their personal brands. Yep, you heard me. You have a brand. No different than Coke, Pepsi, or Nike. You are a walking, talking, living, breathing brand. You're not a logo. You're not a tagline. The choices you make become the path you take. This is your brand. Now, live your story. Your brand is not just what you say it is. It's also what others say it is. So what are you communicating? And how can you create an authentic brand? We'll take on these challenges with What's Your Story? Every week, Hillary will feature teens, moms, and organizations that are learning and living their story. Now, her passion is to help others discover, create, and live their personal brands. To find out more, go to inspiredbyfamily.com. It's What's Your Story with Hillary Bilbrey. Friday mornings at 10 Eastern, 9 a.m. Central on TogiNet.com. Welcome back to Motherhood Talk Radio, the most powerful voice in women's issues. For more information, check out the website, motherhoodtalkradio.com. Now, let's get back to the show with your hosts, Sandra Back and Christy Holly.
Welcome back to Motherhood Talk Radio. I'm your guest host, Suzanne Sladek-Wilson, and your co-host, Christy Holly, is here.
I'm here.
And we are here with Margot Potter, the impatient crafter. We're talking about the business of creativity, motherhood, and juggling it all. So,
which I'm doing at the moment.
we were in the middle of your story, so please finish.
Okay, well, as where we last left off, I was in the middle of a very long year where I was trying to basically reinvent myself. And during the course of the year, I was struggling with, well, how can I make jewelry and make a living? And Beadlon, the manufacturer, the biggest manufacturer of bead wire, and they actually manufacture it in the United States. The marketing director of Beadlon would come in our shop, and we had the shop, and buy my finished pieces because I was doing these interesting woven exposed wire things because I was too impatient to glue beads and do illusion necklaces. Okay. So basically I came up with a way to get around that.
Right.
And she would put them in the catalogs. And at the time, I didn't think anything of that. And occasionally they'd say, oh, write some instructions. I didn't have a clue how to do that, so I just, made it up. I'm a writer, so I just, guesstimated what they needed. So during that long year, they commissioned me to do some wire pieces for their catalog. And they loved them. And they asked for more. And I started to think, hey, maybe this is something. Maybe this is the direction that I could go, showing other people how to create jewelry.
Right.
And I had an idea, and I sent my husband an email. And in the email, I said, I have the best idea. I'm going to do a series of books, and the first one's going to be The Impatient Beater. And they're going to be all about people who are time and technically challenged. And the whole impetus behind it is that I joke that I'm either a Zen master or the world's most impatient person, because I'm always looking for the path of least resistance. So you can look at it, everything that you look at as a weakness can become a strength. And that's really been the trajectory behind what I'm doing, which is not just about showing people how to create things, but really how to create a reality and a space for themselves and for women to find the spaces in between. So I came up with the idea. I found a publisher I like. I did a bunch of research, sent them a blind query, and within 2 weeks I'd sold my first book, and now I'm on book 7.
Wow.
That's how we got there. In my kitchen with a computer between the stove and the refrigerator. That's where it started.
Well, it just proves, wouldn't you say, Christy, that, as moms, even though, you were here where you were raising your 5-year-old child, and you still accomplished so many great things.
Yeah. And you can. In some ways, especially when your children are young, you have the luxury of some time in between. And if you can, in those spaces in between, start doing something that you love, at which you are talented, you put those two things together and you add a bunch of hard work and blood, sweat, and tears, and that's when the universe supports you fully because you're moving in the right direction. And you know that because there's no resistance. It's not, if you're doing something and it gets really, really tough, chances are you're kind of banging your head against a giant rock. And you can either keep banging your head against the rock or you can flow around it, which is the Zen master part. So, so that's kind of what I did, where I was like, this whole year I kept thinking in my head, this is what I have to do, and I was really specific. And it wasn't working, and it wasn't working, and it wasn't working, and I was getting more and more frustrated and depressed. And then this other idea just kind of was sort of just knocking on the door saying, hey, we're beads, remember us? And I had all these beads because we'd had a shop. So it all just kind of unfolded in a really serendipitous, wonderful way.
That's great.
And that's the whole story in a Brazil nutshell.
Oh, a pretty large Brazil nut.
Yes, my daughter said that was a pretty large Brazil nut. Maybe it was more like a coconut.
That's all right. So how old is your daughter?
Well, Avalon is...
I'm 12.
She's just going to tell you herself because she's sitting right next to me. Avalon is 12, and she is incredibly creative and very cool. And this is my second book shoot. She's come along with me. So it's kind of fun little mommy and me time.
Yeah, it's wonderful seeing her all of a sudden kind of blossom into your business also. It seems like the Impatient Crafter has now become into a family business.
It really has. And, I mean, it always has been kind of behind the scenes. I mean, my husband owned a bead store when I met him, so he obviously knows how to make jewelry. He doesn't really want people to know that because he doesn't want to make jewelry. But he's actually quite skilled, and he, unlike me, is very patient. So it's all just sort of unfolded in that way. And as my daughter got older, I didn't really put her on the Internet. When I first started building everything, I had a personal blog, and I kind of mixed my personal with my crafting, with my writing, with my potty mouth tendencies, my politics that probably most people who cared about crafts didn't really care about. And I kept her out of it. But when we started making the videos, it was like Lucy McGillicuddy. You know, I mean, she's over in the side in a chicken costume going, I could be the chicken girl. And I'm kind of going, well, you know, you're older now. I don't feel as uncomfortable about putting it on the Internet, and you really want to do this, so come be a chicken girl.
That's great.
Yeah.
So it's now that she's 12 and she's been doing, is there any particular craft that is her favorite? You seem to like the jewelry. Is there anything that she really liked?
She is very structurally driven. So she likes making three-dimensional structures out of paper and tape that would just blow your mind. And glue. I mean, while we're here, she's creating an entire town of box people and making cars for them and elevators and strollers. And so she's very architecturally, structurally driven in her creativity.
Okay. And, you know, it's so important that kids are creative and that the parents nurture that. Christy, is there any way that you nurture creativity in your kids?
I do. I mean, they like to draw and color. I mean, you know, 3. My son just turned 3, and then the other one turned 5, and my daughter turned 7, and they will just pick up anything. And, you know, my daughter, she'll pick up anything and be like, oh, this can be for, you know, she has some idea of what it can be for. She'll put something on her doll. She'll make it into a necklace, whatever it is. She's got her ideas, and I think it's great. Yeah.
And it's important, too, because they're going to use that creativity the rest of their lives, whether they go into an artistic endeavor or not. But it's got to be, has she been traveling with you a lot, or has she with all the trade shows that you do and the interviews that you do and the shooting that you do, does she travel a lot, or does she mostly at home with the husband?
It's kind of a 50-50. If it's school time, then generally not. She did go to Tokyo with me when I did an exchange for CHA, which is Craft and Hobby Association, was doing a design exchange where someone from Japan would come to the big CHA show, which is a huge craft show, to the trade. And they would do demonstrations of a traditional Japanese craft. And then they'd send an American designer to Tokyo to their big, huge trade show where you would do demonstrations. So we actually went to Tokyo, all of us, and I did demonstrations in jewelry making at this huge trade show, and they got to go and see Tokyo. So there's things like that where they'll piggyback on trips that I'm on, and they'll go and do sightseeing. You know, which means I'm generally not having fun, but
right.
Well, did you have fun today?
But it's amazing the opportunities that open up because of your artistic endeavors and how many things have come to you from what started as just making a few pieces of jewelry that has now become this big empire. I mean, one of the things that I really enjoy, and I know, Christy, you said this too, was the YouTube videos.
Yes.
And
they're quirky.
I mean, you liked them, right, Christy?
I did. I enjoyed them. I keep losing. I'm trying to get on this chat. I'm sorry, you guys. I'm getting on this chat thing, and Sandra's computer is going nuts.
Oh, no.
So I'm sorry. I apologize.
So it's so funny because there's several of them that are so tongue-in-cheek, and they just make crafting
They're really slapstick. they're ridiculous. They're completely over the top. I know that the head of my theater department is, looks at those and goes, "Oh, Lord," because they're really not meant to be in any way, serious. They're completely irreverent, completely silly, and fun. And if you kind of put all of it together, I do something called Crafty Quickies, where they're much more to the point. I do a quick one technique video, and then I have the ones that are really fun and whimsical, and sometimes I'll have special guests come on. So if you put that all together, that would be the craft show I would create if they had craft shows on TV, which they don't right now. But that's kind of in my mind, if all of those things come together, and it's half an hour experience.
Yeah, my personal favorite is the one about the flex shaft.
There's a lot of sexual innuendo in my videos, I must admit. I'm very naughty. Yes, it's a flexible shaft drill.
Yes.
And every time, since I've gotten it, I've been making that joke because it's, every girl needs a flexible shaft.
Yes.
Yes, I'm a little punny.
Yes.
It's true.
Yes, which is, it's a lot of fun, and they make the videos, and what makes it so nice is that not everything goes 100% right in the video.
No, never. We literally shoot those videos in live time. So rather than going back and fixing things and making them perfect, a lot of what I do is about helping people give themselves permission to color outside of the line, to make glorious mistakes, because for me, it's in the things that most people consider mistakes or your bad traits. That's where I found all of my success and my best ideas. So I want people to know it doesn't have to be perfect. You don't have to follow the pattern. You can do something that looks really crappy when you're finished, but still have gotten something valuable out of the experience.
Right. Learning that maybe a certain technique might be not the best way to go about it, or...
Right. Or like, oh my God, I just made up a new way to do this.
Right. Yeah. That's why it's so wonderful to see that, and not that it's Martha Stewart perfect.
No, I kind of think of myself, and I love Martha, but really my approach is completely the antithesis of that approach, which is, if you look at my packages at Christmas time, you'll be like, man, these are beautiful. As soon as you turn them over, you go, wow, there's a tape thing happening under here that's not very pretty. So,
well, we are about to take our next break.
Okay.
And we will be back. Suzanne Sladek-Wilson, guest hosting for Sandra Beck, and we have Christy Holly here, and we are going to be back with our guest, Margot Potter, the Impatient Crafter.
Mom, here's your show, Motherhood Talk Radio, giving you interesting, inspiring, and influential information as you navigate everything from childcare to corporate formation. This is Motherhood Talk Radio, and we'll be right back after these. No more mommy madness. The Sanity Hour is the antidote. It's the Sanity Hour with Ann Dunawald. Monday evenings at 6, 7 Central. Part of the Her Insight Network on TogiNet.com. Join Ann as she guides parents through issues that arise from simply living in our current high-energy, high-pressure culture of perfection and achievement. Moms and dads are bombarded daily. Sign up for this, buy that, enrich your child's life, enhance your child's development, worry about this danger, provide this experience. Ann Dunawald, PhD, is here to help. She's a licensed psychologist in independent practice in Dallas, specializing in women's mental health issues. And her mission here is to help women sort out the guilt and anxiety of the unrealistic demands of motherhood on a daily basis. For more information on her and her books, go to AnnDunawald.com. That's AnnDunewald.com. Arming women against the pressures of modern motherhood. Here to give moms balance and expectations, cutting themselves some slack. It's the Sanity Hour with Ann Dunawald. Monday evenings at 6, 7 Central. Part of the Her Insight Network on TogiNet.com. Let's chat it up with Bloom Talk with Barb Scala on TogiNet. Thursday afternoons at 3 Eastern, 2 Central. And find out how women are growing, blossoming, and blooming in their friendships and careers, health, and so much more. It's Bloom Talk with Barb Scala. Check out our website, bloomwithbarb.com. Whether you want to transplant your life or just do a little pruning, Bloom Talk will inspire you to cultivate the lifestyle you want to live. Join lifestyle coach and co-author of Sanity Savers, Barb Scala, each week on Bloom Talk and sprout your dreams. grow your life.
I hear a lot from women. I want meaning in my life. I want a fulfilling life. I want to do something that's exciting. And I can control my life instead of my life controlling me. I can tell the world this is who I am and this is what I'm all about.
Barb will introduce you to dynamic guests and real women who are redesigning, rebuilding, and reinventing their own lives. And Bloomstorm how you can dream, create, and grow the lifestyle you want to live. It's Bloom Talk with Barb Scala. Thursday afternoons at 3 Eastern, 2 Central on TogiNet.com. Welcome back to Motherhood Talk Radio, the most powerful voice in women's issues. For more information, check out the website, motherhoodtalkradio.com. Now, let's get back to the show with your hosts, Sandra Beck and Christy Holly.
Welcome back, moms. We're here on Motherhood Talk Radio talking with the multi-talented Margot Potter. We were talking before about your YouTube videos and your books that you've done. Now, you have worn a lot of hats. You've been a TV show host. You've also been recently on QVC. Mm-hmm. You've been an author, a designer, and a teacher. Is there any particular hat that's your favorite?
I would have to say performing is my favorite. So acting or singing or getting to do both makes me the happiest of all. But I'm also really, I would say writing is probably my equally guilty pleasure. So Those two things, yeah.
Those are your two favorites.
Creativity. It's just, I love being creative. And women are creative. We create life. We create homes. We create joy. That's what we do. And for me, my main message behind everything else is to give ourselves permission to be creative, because somewhere along the way, for most of us, someone said to us, hey, you know what, you're not an artist. That's not how clouds look, or that's not how you draw a cow. And so we said, oh, okay, I'm not an artist. And we took that to heart. But it's our right as people, as creative beings, to be creative in any way we want. And there's no, in my book, there's no one who gets a bigger right to be creative or, is more special than anybody else. We're all wonderful, uniquely creative beings. So moms, I feel like we really need to lighten up on ourselves and just have more fun with it. And when we do that, we give our kids permission to have more fun with it.
Oh, definitely. I mean,
yeah.
There's so many times where there's women who say, I'm not creative.
Mm-hmm.
What would you say to a woman who says that?
I would say, yes, you are. And then I would say, don't you have a home? Don't you have clothing in your closet that you picked out that you love? Don't you maybe love to cook or garden? Or don't you have a job that makes you feel creative? And even if you're an accountant or, somebody who works with numbers and you think, oh, I'm not creative, that's a very creative thing.
Right.
I mean, everything boils down to math anyway. I mean, images all have a mathematical formulation. Everything in nature is math, and then that math can be turned into images called fractal images. So math is kind of the basis of all of it. So no matter what you're doing at every moment of your life, you're creating your reality, making choices. Right. You choose A or B, and then something happens. That's creativity.
Right. I mean, Christy, think about it. When you have to be creative every day. Think about all the choices you have to make for dinner.
This is true. I was just thinking to myself, I'm not crafty because I want to be, but I just am always afraid to just start because I don't want to make a mistake. And like you said, it's okay to make a mistake, and that's how we find out what we really, can do or like to do. But
right.
I don't know. I mean, that holds me back a lot because I don't want to make a mistake. But I guess
you got to let that go because there's no mistakes.
There's no mistakes.
There's it doesn't matter. It's the experience. The point of being creative isn't the thing you get at the end. That's just the evidence of your creativity. The point is being in the moment and being creative in the moment. And that is, if you can just let go and enjoy that, whether that's, those are moments with your children. Those are moments, every moment of life is an opportunity for being creative. So, yes, okay, we may make choices and they may be unpleasant or we may end up with something ugly, but we made a choice, right?
I would just be happy if I could finish something.
But you can, so you should read my books because you'll find things that
I know
are quick
I
and
need to read
easy
your
and
book.
rewarding. Yeah.
Well, and that's the thing. A lot of women put their creative side away once they become a mother. They think that, oh, I don't have time to do this. I need to. What would you say to those women that kind of put that part of themselves away?
I would say that Virginia Woolf was right, and every woman needs a room of her own. And we need to carve out time, whether that's to write in a diary or to doodle on a sketchbook or to just sit and stare at the wall and think about nothing. You need that space because if you can't give that to yourself, if you can't give as much to yourself as you're giving to your family and your children, you start to feel underneath all of that a kind of resentment.
Yeah.
And it's, sometimes it's a very subtle thing you can't even put a finger on, but you need to take time out for yourself. Go take a yoga class. Go, learn how to play a lute. It doesn't really matter what it is. Just get some time for you.
Yeah. Yeah. And I think that's really important. I mean, we do sometimes forget who we are because we put so much of ourselves into our families.
Yeah, and I think there can be a mistake.
Yeah.
On a certain level, even though there are no mistakes.
No. Now, it's really interesting to see how many crafts have really taken off. And, especially we saw each other recently at the Craft and Hobby Association, and they have literally, if you can imagine, a huge conference center, convention center filled with every single craft you could ever think of. So
every major company.
Yes.
Right.
So, if you want to try a craft, there's something out there for everybody.
Well, yeah, and everybody's going to find the thing that resonates with them, or what I like to call your gateway craft. Because what will happen is you'll learn how to do something, whatever it is, and then you'll go, oh, that was fun. What else is there?
Yeah. Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Exactly.
And there's endless amounts of cool things you can do.
Yeah. And, Christy, was there anything when you were a kid that you liked doing?
Well, I used to love to draw, and I used to love to write stories. And, that's what I like to do creative-wise.
Maybe there's a children's book in there.
See?
I just need to be pushed, not pushed, but just
you just have to push yourself. But you know what? It doesn't matter. Even if you don't do that, and even if you wait till your kids are a little bit older, people think that, you only have so much time, or, oh, I didn't do that, so it's too late. I was 40 when I started this career. I'm 47 now. So it's never too late. I mean, Julia Child didn't write her first book. She started taking classes at the age of 40, and at 50, she published her first book.
Wow.
Yeah.
Right? So, you just do it on your timeline. And when you feel the impetus, follow that impetus.
I think that's a great lesson, and that a lot of women think that it's too late to do something.
Yeah, it's never too late.
No. And the thing with the CHA show was there were so many different products that I had never seen before and innovative things. Was there anything that really caught your eye when you were at CHA?
Well, unfortunately, because I was recovering from my 9-day poking and prodding hospital stint, I really did demos every day and then went back to my hotel room. And we won't get into the whole hospital thing. I'm fine. But there was a scanner that's portable that you could take with you and scan anything. So let's say you're at an antique store and you see a newspaper and you want to just get an image from it, you want to scan that, you could do that. Now, of course, I'm of the mind, don't scan it or keep it if it's not out of copyright. But it's really cool because you can take it wherever you're going and immediately scan that image and put it into your computer, and then you have that.
And that's great for, if you're going to visit relatives and maybe they have some photos that they're not willing to part with.
Yes.
But you'd like a copy of it, and you can just scan away that.
Yeah, that was really cool. And, of course, the name of the company is eluding me, and I feel badly about that. But I will, when I get home, I'll blog about it.
Okay.
And that way people can find out the name, because it was a pretty cool, it was very small and easy to carry.
Yeah.
So I like that.
Picturing some big old thing you're carrying around.
Well, what was your most favorite product you saw?
Oh, there was a couple of neat things. There was, Beetlelana had one cool thing. This is going to sound really dorky, but they had those new pliers, and they actually were like velour.
Serve a Lord.
Yes.
Bow, chicka, bow, bow.
We were having a fun time with those at the show.
They were like the porn flyers, yes. Okay, they're really not. They just have super soft handles.
Yes, they were like velvety. It was very, it was cool. And I really saw a lot of innovations in screen printing. That was neat to see. That's coming more home-based, that you can do a lot of that stuff at home. You can take any image and basically screen print it now.
Yeah, I mean, I love the UDO, which is the video you guys were talking about. Plaid has Simply Screen, which you can't necessarily take any image, but the screens don't require a whole silk screen machine. So that's kind of cool. I mean, I really like the innovations in the screen printing, because that's something, maybe you're doing T-shirts for a Brownie troop or a Girl Scout troop or a dance troop, and you can do that at home and not have to spend a fortune on having them made professionally.
Well, yeah, and then the thing is about it that you can also personalize it. If you want to make a gift for grandma or a gift for dad, it can be something that's personal rather than something that's, that you have to spend lots of money to go have done.
Right. And that everybody has.
Right, exactly.
I love it. The more you can do it yourself, the better it is, in my book.
Yeah, exactly. And now, looking, across this whole big, wonderful trip that you've had, is there anything you would have done different?
No. Of course not. Life is a fantastical adventure. You just have to keep living it. And if you look back here's the thing. I do believe that people say, oh, I have no regrets. I don't think a life worth having lived is without some regrets. But those things that you did that maybe caused regrets or maybe were difficult, they're part of what has made you who you are. I kind of look at life as, you're the raw material, and the life is the fire that is annealing you and hardening you and strengthening you. So, no, why would I change any of it? It was an amazing journey. It's going to make a really good book one day. That's
Definitely. Definitely, for sure. I mean, it's been amazing also to see how your books have evolved, too.
Yeah. Well, I get bored, like I said.
Like, the first books were very, they had a lot of cartoons and kind of cute quips and things like that. And it seems like the books now are a little bit more sophisticated, for lack of a better term.
Yeah, and that's not necessarily all my choice.
Got it.
I tend to be more of a cartoonish kind of personality. I joke sometimes I'm like a drag queen, but I have girl parts. But I also have to make books that will sell to the masses, and I want to make sure that they're appealing.
Mom, here's your show, Motherhood Talk Radio, giving you interesting, inspiring, and influential information as you navigate everything from childcare to corporate formation. This is Motherhood Talk Radio, and we'll be right back after these. As our loved ones get older, sometimes we fear the worst, such as a fall or symptoms of a heart attack or stroke while they're home alone and away from the telephone. Don't torture yourself, because now there's True Med Alert. Unlike other emergency response medical pendants, a True Med Alert pendant has both a microphone and speaker built in, so it can be used inside or outside of their home as far as 600 feet away. Your loved one can talk to and hear from an EMT, not just a call screener, but a real emergency medical technician, giving them the information they need to hear while help is being dispatched, so they get vital first aid instructions immediately, and they're never alone. Give them back their independence and give yourself peace of mind with a medical alert pendant from TrueMedAlert.com. That's TrueMed alert.com, or call 877-755-1370, because at TrueMedAlert.com we hear you loud and clear. Get ready for the Not So Soccer Mom, Tuesday afternoons at 1 Eastern, noon Central on TogiNet with Jill Hickey. You name it, from politics to pop culture to Jill's search for the perfect bronzer and chicken salad. The Not So Soccer Mom will weigh in on it all. The sentence, "I have no opinion about that," is one that Jill has never uttered. In the early 90s, Jill finally decided to put her thoughts, opinions, mom advice, love of pop culture, hummus, and Starbucks, working out, cosmetic shopping, and politics into an actual website, and thus NotSoSoccerMom.com was born. Shortly after her fourth child, a boy, Jerome, now she's really got tons of topics to share with you. This is Laugh Out Loud Funny, and we're not kidding. What's a loud Nebraska girl who lived in Little Rock for many years and now is up in the Northeast doing? Chronicling her opinions on everything. The wheels aren't off yet, but it's close. It's the Not So Soccer Mom with Jill Hickey, Tuesday afternoons at 1 Eastern, noon Central on TogiNet.com. Welcome back to Motherhood Talk Radio, the most powerful voice in women's issues. For more information, check out the website, motherhoodtalkradio.com. Now, let's get back to the show with your hosts, Sandra Beck and Christy Holly.
Welcome back, moms. It's Motherhood Talk Radio. I'm your guest host, Suzanne Sladek-Wilson, and co-host Christy Holly.
Yes, ma'am. We're here, and we were talking to Margot Potter. She's awesome. Awesome.
And she's laughing.
Well, because I've always known that. So,
well, I'm just learning about you because I'm not in the crafters world, and I'm going to go out and buy your book because I'm really excited. I will.
Yeah, there's more than just I mean, even if you just want to sit and read my book, especially if you kind of start from book one, there's a lot in there just that will make you giggle and laugh. And I try to tell, have quotes from interesting women and tell stories about women from history. So there's more in there than just how to string a bead on a wire.
Right. And you can get that through Amazon. And the first one is The Impatient Beater.
Yeah.
And then
that's where it all began.
Yes, The Impatient Beater, Easy Jewelry Projects for the Busy Beginner.
That's what I need. Right there.
And that's done really well. It's still on the shelves at the big major craft chains. So people like that one.
Yeah, and it's been in several languages, hasn't it?
Well, it has been in Dutch. I don't know if they've translated it to any other. But for some reason, I'm really big in the Netherlands, apparently.
That's so cool.
No, actually, if you look at my blog stats, Turkey, I'm very popular there. I could not tell you why. But I do get a lot of international traffic. And I think because my projects, especially what I put on my blog, are really funky and whimsical, and it kind of fit that overseas aesthetic.
Yeah.
Or I'm going to tell myself that. I don't
Well, Christy, are you ready to try to jump into beading maybe?
I'm thinking about it. I feel like I've tried it like once. Okay, once I've tried it. And I felt like I was so clumsy with my fingers, and I just was impatient, and it was like, okay, I don't want to do this.
Just use bigger beads.
Bigger beads. I will use bigger beads.
Use bigger beads.
Definitely. And it's definitely the way her book is written. It has lots of illustrations, which is really nice. Lots of pictures is good when you're starting out.
Yeah, because without that, it gets, reading that text is like reading stereo instructions. It's kind of, frustrating.
Yeah. I like to see pictures because I'm not as, the visual thing isn't always there where I can just go like, oh, this will look good together, and just put it down where, you guys have all these great ideas and it's like, oh, okay, that is really good. And then, like, once you get the hang of it, then I think it'll come later, but I need that start out picture.
Well, and I'm kind of anal about making sure that from the beginning you're getting really good technique. So even though I'm incredibly impatient, on the other hand, I'm really anal retentive. And I want to make sure that your technique is meticulous so when you finish making a piece, it doesn't fall apart a week later. Because if that happens, then you're unlikely to continue. Yeah.
I mean, for sure. And that's really important, is that you do feel successful. And that's why your book is so nice, because it does post people for success instead of feeling like whatever they're going to make is going to be a failure or that they're not going to want to wear it.
Yeah. Well, I try to make things that people will enjoy wearing that don't wear them. I mean, to me, jewelry should complement you, not necessarily compete with you. So even though some of the things I do are over the top and whimsical and, circus-like, I also can do very sort of understated, elegant. And I try to give a little bit of everything so that people can find their aesthetic in the mix.
So, Christy, didn't you tell me that your mom or your sister or somebody was into it?
Yes, I did. My sister makes like beautiful jewelry. She'll go make an outfit, and then she's like, "Oh, I need to make a necklace to go with this outfit," and she'll just whip up a necklace. I mean,
and you could do that too.
I could do that. I could do that too. She doesn't have any kids.
Absolutely could.
I'm gonna use that excuse. But that would be great.
And that's how a lot of us start is an outfit that we need the jewelry for.
Right. Right. And rather than trolling the mall or trolling the internet and trying to find that perfect thing to match, you can make the perfect thing to match, and then you feel really good when you wear it, and people go, "Hey, that's really fabulous," and you say, "I made it."
Right.
That feels good.
It does. It really does.
Yeah.
And Chrissy, there's nothing. I mean, people can make scrapbooks, and I know, Margot, you will agree with me, and scrapbooks are beautiful, and there's a lot of people who are talented, but you can't wear a scrapbook around your neck.
No, you can't wear your scrapbook. And not only that, chances are the people that don't know you really don't want to see your scrapbooks. Even though they love you and they think you're special, they really are it's kind of like when people would show you their slides from their trip to, Krakatoa or something. Like, oh, no. It's kind of like that. But you can take those scrapbooking things, those memory things, and make them into jewelry or wearable art that you can wear, and then go, "Hey, this is my kid. This is my son's footprint on this pendant, and I've made this necklace around it." Or, things like that where you're giving a nod to the whole scrapbooking thing and even using those techniques, but making something that you can wear and get compliments on.
Mm-hmm. You guys it's starting to inspire me.
Yay!
That's good. That's what we want. Yay!
Well, speaking of being inspired, I have to say that you, Katie Hacker, and Kennedy Cooper really inspire me.
I love both of those women.
Yes. Who are the people that inspire you?
Oh, gosh. It's such a long list. I mean, it's just such a long list. I wouldn't even know where to start. In terms of visually, I love the pre-Raphaelite artists like Waterhouse, Rossetti. I love Van Gogh. I love thrift store art. I mean, I'm inspired by so many people and things that it's just sort of endless. But women who inspire me, Julia Child's probably my biggest idol. Yeah. Which, of course, she cooked. But cooking is just another creative expression.
Oh, yeah. See, Christy, you can still be creative without having to, pick up any jewelry tools.
Yeah, you don't even ever have to make jewelry to be creative. Never.
That's true. I'm learning.
So, Christy, did you have something you wanted to ask?
No.
No, we're done with her.
We're done. I'm done.
I'm going to go home and make something.
So, now, with everything that you have going on, how do you juggle the time with the family and the business?
I just do. Now, there are weeks where I'll work 6 and 7 days, but at 5 o'clock, the computer goes off, and I am with my family. Unless I have major deadlines or something, I really try to have a professional world and a personal world. So my daughter gets on the bus. I'm in my pajamas. Chances are I won't change out of them until dinner because I'm just going to work through the whole day, get everything done. At 5, computer goes off. I go feed the potbelly pigs and the chickens, and then I make dinner for the people, and that's my day. So, it is what it is, and I really make a point of, I'm actually kind of lazy, even though I am really busy on paper, and even though I push myself really hard, I just enjoy doing nothing. I really do. So I try to carve spaces for that.
Well, and that's important. Sometimes we do get so wrapped up in what we're doing, we do forget to carve out the spaces to do nothing.
Yeah, and it's important. And I think we're in a time where we feel we're so information overloaded and scheduled, and a lot of like families, the kids have so many different activities that there's no time to just kind of sit and decompress. And that time is really important because that's how you re-energize yourself to dive back into the fray.
Yeah. And that's where jewelry making and also crafting in general can be very helpful in that it can restore you.
Yes. And here's the reason why I think jewelry making is particularly great for moms. Because scrapbooking is all about everybody else. And card making is about making cards for other people. And, you know, most of the craft disciplines, if you're knitting baby booties or a sweater for somebody else. But when you make jewelry, often it's about making something for you. And it's about giving yourself the space to make something for you and say, you know what, I deserve a nice new necklace. And so for me, jewelry making is particularly rewarding, and I think it's great for other women in that sense. There's nothing wrong with making things for other people. That's great. But as a mom, you're doing that all day long.
Right.
So to be able to say, I'm going to take this hour, and I'm going to work on this necklace, and this is mine, and I'm going to wear it, and I'm going to get compliments. It makes me feel good. It kind of lets you make sure you're not completely losing your identity to being mom, caregiver, wife, all of those things.
Right.
Yeah.
So, Margot, I'm sorry. What's the hardest part about doing what you do? Like, what is it, being creative for a living, or is it juggling your family and work? Like, what's the hardest part about?
The hardest part is sometimes running out of hours and hands, and also that I have been dealing with I have chronic unresponsive asthma. So for the past 13 years since I got pregnant, on top of all the things I do, I have half of normal lung capacity. And recently I got answers that are going to fix that because it's more than that. It's like the underlying cause is actually fixable. But to try to do everything, I always joke like it's like I have one lung tied behind my back. So it's been hard. And, you know, most people don't know about that because I don't babble on and on about it. But that's kind of my biggest challenge is just keeping up my energy, keeping focused, keeping moving. Yeah.
Well, Margot, I have to say it has been wonderful having you on the show.
Thank you so much for having me.
Oh, please. We are so excited you could come on. And make sure that you stop by Margot's website, margotpotter.com, margotpotter.com. And there you can find her blog, a list of all of her books, many of her projects you can see on the site. It is wonderful. So thank you again for being on the show today.
Oh, it's my pleasure. Thank you so much for having me.
And hey, moms, make sure you stay tuned for the next show, Precipitation for a Healthy Life with Bruce Weizenberg, for information about the Fireball Run for Missing Children. So thank you, Christy, for letting me come and host the show too today.
Thank you. You did awesome.
Oh, please. Thank you so much. It's been an honor. I'm glad that Sandra gave me the opportunity to do this, and I hope that she is relaxing and enjoying herself with her kids. See you all next week.
Thank you for being a part of Motherhood Talk Radio with Sandra Beck and Christy Holly, part of the Her Insight Network on TogiNet.com.